Hello and welcome to This Week in Property. I'm your host Richard Swan, and in today's show we've switched on the spotlight, the Property Pros Spotlight, where we grab someone under the light to chat about how things are going, what they're up to, because they're out there doing business. They're in the trenches, they're in that murky world of property with all its fantastic roller coaster ups and downs, and we can just chat about things and hear about their opinions and their experiences and share that with you who are listening and watching just now. So who is that chap who's underneath the spotlight today? It's David Liddell from Liddell Property Investments. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Richard.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Now, need to be up front because loads of our guests, I don't know them.
Yes.
Before I interview them and stuff, which is great because I'm getting to meet loads and loads of people from around the world. But every now and again, I'll get someone who I've got a better knowledge of, relationship with, so I want to always be kind of full disclosure about that. I know David through Paul McFadden's Property Protégé programme, and I've seen him just go on and do so many things. He's just put tons of education to work. He's taken so much action. He's been involved in so many things. He helps so many people, and he's a perfect guy to bring into the spotlight. So there you go. I do know this chap, but I don't know the half of it, David. I don't know the half of it. The roller coaster that you've been on. So first up, let's talk quickly pre-property, right?
Yeah,
because we're going to be chatting back and forth today about all the stuff you're doing in property, and you've got some amazing deals on the go at the moment. I know one of them has been tying you up in knots, which is brilliant. But what's the deal before property? Where was the career path? Where did school take you or whatever?
So from leaving school, I managed to somehow probably turn around after third year, I think, and stick my head down, stayed on to fifth, and then managed to got into uni actually after fifth year, a wee bit earlier than normal. So I done mechanical and offshore engineering at RGU in Aberdeen when I stayed up that way, and then that led me into oil and gas, being in Aberdeen and working as a hydraulic design engineer. So I was basically in that for 10 years. So hydraulic design, a few companies in Aberdeen. And
was it the area that dragged you to that field? Is it just a thing up there?
It was kind of the thing, the thing to get into, where the money was.
Where the money is.
It was a good route to go, I think, and was kind of parents maybe pushed it a wee bit as well, so
get that big money.
Went down that route, a couple of companies in Aberdeen, and then moved to Glasgow actually for another job in engineering. So it was all like design desk based work. So it wasn't. I was done a bit of travelling here and there to site, a couple of times offshore, but nothing in any sort of rota or anything like that. That was maybe going to be the next evolution, to get more money. But
that's always the big curse of that whole industry, isn't it?
It is,
you hear guys being away for their family for like 3, 4, 5 weeks at a time, then you come back for a fortnight. It sounds real tough. So that was there on the horizon for you,
probably.
Maybe?
I think so. Just to get that bit more, and that was kind of probably the only option,
right?
Before I came on the Protégé programme, I'd actually at Glasgow Cali Uni had signed up to reattend a year, do an additional study, in specifically in like fluid power and hydraulics, kind of focused, that I thought would probably only get me maybe a couple of grand extra a year, to be honest. I actually cancelled that and went on Protégé instead.
Wow.
Yeah, it was I was paying for it out of my own pocket as well. It was literally 3 days before it started, and
was it? Oh my God.
So
it's almost like a wee sliding doors moment for you in that life, isn't it? Because I could be bumping into you in a pub somewhere and you're saying, that's me back for 2 weeks. What do you mean? Oh, I work offshore. So I'm back for 2 weeks just now, then I'm heading out. It's amazing that when you see someone's kind of life and a wee path that's in there, and you've got some paths at the moment in your personal life as well, we'll touch upon as well, which is exciting and fascinating. The mechanical stuff, the engineering stuff, did you enjoy it? Is that a thing?
I don't think so. I'm very quite a hyper person, a lot of energy, as you know.
I do know that.
Looking back, sitting at maybe thought I was happy. I just lived for the weekend, to be honest. Just work through the week, live for the weekend, and
Right.
spent every penny I earned, you know, and
Right, okay.
and I think that, you know, I was comfortable, you know,
Yeah.
got paid decent,
Just kinda
just
coasting.
you know, and just coasting, didn't really evolve much,
Right.
and yeah, so
Hearing you saying the engineering part and, you know,
Yeah.
liking something, not liking so having a passion, that's something different.
Mm-hmm.
But it definitely resonates with me. Oh, David, oh God,
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some of your investment packs. I know some of the amazing deals that you've got, and you know, I've been lucky enough to see them, and you know, can I be involved in seeing the numbers and stuff. And you know about detail. You know about crunching numbers. You know
Maybe
about
too
going
much.
to the nitty-gritty. Aye, so that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
You know, from your how your brain works anyway.
I think now, you know, a couple of years ago, if you'd asked me when I was first moved away from my engineering into property, it was probably that it was holding me back so much because I was
Really?
caught up in all that, like
Overanalyzing.
overanalyzing. Yeah.
See.
Now I've kind of detached from that quite a bit.
Brilliant.
We're going into these bigger deals, and as you said in the pack, there's a lot of due diligence. You know, that stuff that the
Yeah.
lender's asking for is just unreal. But I've
course.
felt I've been able to, you know, transfer some skills recently in a good way and not in a bad
exactly.
way.
Aye, that's right.
And you know, the documentation, the packs, which I just feel like I can just naturally do quite easily.
it's a skill.
So that has helped. You know, so it's mad. I'm like, I'm back to doing what I'm stuck in a spreadsheet again.
You're using your powers for good.
Yeah, so
Which is brilliant.
but I enjoy it a lot more, you know. Than
Do you?
Yeah, like I mean, I'm up every morning. I'm just excited about
Just
it.
buzzing.
You know, I was
I've
never like
seen
that.
you
and
not buzzing.
Never like that with the job. You know, I just
right,
never
okay.
and sitting. I like being out and about and doing things, and
Yeah.
I do like meeting. Whereas probably didn't like meeting many people or new faces beforehand. I love doing it now, and
Right.
like being out meeting people and kind of having, you know, my own schedule. I can work at 1 a.m. and not work during the day if I want
Exactly.
to a wee bit. So
Enjoying that freedom
and
a bit
yeah,
more
the
then.
freedom, yeah, and just would never got that, you know.
Yeah.
So I really do enjoy this much more. Enjoy the excitement of it, the risk,
Yeah.
yeah.
The frantic activity. And you're right, you know, you're reminding me of something. I'm as guilty as you. That engineering type brain. Oh, I need to know the numbers. I need to know it to this nth degree. I get all that. And my God, the amount of deals that I should have lost out in the early days.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at a spreadsheet day after day after day after. The deal's fine.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Changing this number,
paralysis.
changing that number.
Aye, but what if the interest rates went to 25%? What are you talking about? It's crazy. But it is a trap. It is a trap.
Yeah.
It's finding that balance, isn't it? I mean, if someone listening just now, you know, they're thinking about property, they know it's, I mean, it screams at them how good an investment it is.
Yeah.
But there is that kind of fear, trepidation that on one extreme, you can't be cavalier about it. We're talking about a lot of money.
Yeah.
So you don't just, I'll just go to an auction and put my hand in there and I'll see what I can get. No, you can't be that way. But then the other extreme, me and you in the bad days, looking at a spreadsheet for 14 weeks in a row and losing out in the deal.
Yeah.
What do you say? How would you guide them on kind of finding a balance in the middle? Any thoughts?
Yeah, well, immediately I just think of something that really helped me, and it's taken a lot of time as well to kind of detach from that way of thinking. It probably still is in me a bit now, but something that really helped me was, I don't know if you've read The E-Myth.
Oh, brilliant book. Yes.
So with
yes.
it, I got recommended that, and it goes on. It calls it this Americans as a technician and the suffering from entrepreneurial seizure or something. And I listened to that book. Then I bought it. I must have listened to it about 4 times and read it twice.
Right.
And it was just like talking about me. you know,
you.
everything,
You wrote this book
every
for
part
me.
of business and how they were going through these challenges. And I was just like, that was me. You know,
Right.
and I felt that probably was one thing that really helped maybe detach from that. And
Right.
yeah, and yeah,
Detach,
just
that's a good
being being self-aware and when you've
Yes.
right, I've been on the spreadsheet 2 days. Let's just make a decision.
I've done my clever bit. I've not had a spreadsheet, but I've done it now. So let's detach. I love that word you picked. Actually, detach from it. Yeah, totally. You know you should have the self-awareness that you have done enough. You've got enough education in your brain to do the due diligence. You've took the action. You've analysed it. So now you should have the self-awareness to detach from that and either proceed with the deal or not. You know, is it one for you or not? Because we're all different as well, of course. You might do a deal that I don't fancy. I might do a deal that you don't fancy. Everybody's got their own thing, haven't they?
Yeah.
So your wee sliding doors moment with possibly going offshore in the future and all of a sudden, let's go stage left into property. What pops? Why that? Was it the traditional, I've just heard property's good, property's where the money is, or did you see someone else already doing it in the family, or, you know?
Yeah, if I track back a little so it was actually 4 years ago, like within this week that I done Protege, and started a business all in the same week, so, which is good. I've been reflecting quite a bit on things, so that was October 2020, so at the start of 2020 was COVID and I was due to move to Australia with a job in engineering.
Yes. I heard you mention this before, Australia.
I was due to do that, and it was all expenses paid. Samantha paid as well to come with me. It was like the ideal package kind of thing. So that fell through because of COVID. Came on the go at the start of the year, and then just went through COVID a bit. I just working from home, getting pissed.
Strange times, really strange times.
And kind of got bored of that and started to learn and educate myself on things. I did have one property up in Peterhead that I bought when I was back in Ellen, and it was a buy-to-let, and I was just looking. It was actually in the middle of selling it to somebody who owned the property above, and he was paying me way over for it because he was very motivated to move there. Where his son was staying in his he owned the flat above. So we got a good deal from him from selling it. My tenants were moving out.
Brilliant.
But it was all the sale got delayed through COVID. But everything was falling into place.
Yeah.
At the start of the year, because that sale was going through. Whilst I was moving to Australia, that was going to give me cash as well to move to Australia and stuff like that as a wee bonus. But that dragged on with COVID as well as the Australia move. And once we came out of COVID and our solicitors got back in action, we sold that property. And that allowed me to essentially do the first deal. Well, that cash from that allowed me to do the first deal coming out the back of Protege.
Brilliant. So that one you had, the buy-to-let, how did you come across that? How did you move into that thing?
So
you remember
I wanted to get a property of some kind. And this was before I moved to Glasgow, literally 6 months or so. So I was looking at a property in Ellen where I stayed. And it was a lot more kind of higher price back then than it is now with the way Aberdeen and Aberdeenshire's gone with the market. And and I was looking at that. Then I was looking at, I was like, well, I could get a property in Ellen for maybe a 2-bed flat for 120k, say.
Right.
And then I looked at Peterhead and was, well, I can get a 2-bed flat for 50k.
Really?
Right?
Is that much of a difference?
Yeah, so
wow.
And I was like, right, what rent can I get in Ellen? It was like $650.
Right.
And what rent is it, like 600, 700 roughly.
Right.
And then what can I get in Peterhead? And I was like, oh, it's maybe 500, 600 possibly, dependent. So I was like, well, I can probably half the price and only get maybe about 100, £150 difference in rent.
Wow.
So I decided to do that. We got the property there. Actually bought it on first time buyer mortgage. And
really? Aye,
small deposit
fantastic.
down. And
brilliant.
I wasn't planning on really moving there. I bought that and then I ended up getting a job in Glasgow. So it was very much a move to Glasgow and it wasn't finished. And I was doing all the work and I was driving back up at the weekend to try and do some of the work and then not getting much it done because I was going out with my mates. So it dragged on a bit, that DIY refurb. So, but we got it. We bought it in June and it was ready in December. And just before Christmas, tenants moved in and they stayed for like 2 years. And
brilliant.
I just run it all myself,
well.
no letting agent, letting agent. Just done it myself, and I wouldn't do that now. But yeah, just. There was no problems at all. They're perfect.
Good.
So, yeah, and then once they moved on, that's when it kind of sold. So
Right.
it was great. We bought it under market value by about, I think it was 57.5 grand. We bought it for. It was valued at 75.
Oh, come on.
Trying to recite numbers from 7 years ago now.
Exactly.
And we ended up selling it for like over what it was worth as well to that buyer that I mentioned.
Right.
So I got a good cash flow on the. I've done all the right things out of any education
Exactly.
around property.
Done
So
yourself.
we got good cash flow
Just
every
took that
month.
action.
You know, I think it was 575 or 600? Can't remember exactly, but it cash flowed me in the region of £300 plus a month.
Magic.
And then we got obviously that for the 2 years, and then sold it and got a decent profit
get a
out the
bonus
back
at the end
end.
as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Aye, that's
So
fantastic.
it was good.
Yeah, and I love how you were mentioning the numbers there. Again, that was a great example of using your powers for good
Yeah.
and doing something that a beginner should definitely think about. You looked at location, you had the Elland and you had the Peterhead, went, right, okay, what's the capital to purchase it? Right,
Yeah.
okay, there's my differences. But wait a minute, once I get it and I operate it as a buy-to-let, the income from that asset, what are those numbers like? Right, okay. So for that price, I can get... That's due diligence. That's a real clever way of doing it, which is bloody brilliant.
Yeah.
And I love your sharing that, because I wish to God more folk would do it, because there's far too many, I don't know, accidental landlords. I get that, and they've not even thought of cash flow.
Yeah.
I just property. I'll just buy a property.
Yeah.
No, please don't. Please learn some way, you know, from anywhere, but learn how to do the numbers. And then get an actual proper deal. Because you've look at the things you've done there. Bought it at a discount first of all.
Yeah.
Then operated it brilliantly as an income flowing asset.
Yeah.
Then sold it for over. I
Yeah.
mean, my God,
Yeah, it
that's
was
a triple decker right there.
Yeah, yeah.
That's amazing.
I couldn't someday it was still, because I was still technically living in Ellen, although I was in Glasgow working.
Yeah.
So somebody turned up at my mum's door one day, because everything was registered there. I was still registered living there.
Right.
But I was working from Glasgow, and she's like, this guy's at the door, wants to buy your flat. And I'm like, it's not for sale, not for sale. Oh, but he really wants to buy it. He really wants to
not
buy it,
leaving.
you know. And I'm like, no, it's not for sale. It's the tenants in it.
Right.
And then okay, I'll have a conversation with him.
Brilliant.
And then he gave me the story, and I thought, there might be something a bit better in this. You know, he's willing to pay over the odds for it. So it wasn't anything special, the flat, you know. It wasn't just a,
But it was more than that for him, wasn't it?
it was more than
Family,
that
the
for
son,
him.
and everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the
So-
other cool thing, I think, and it's brilliant you're sharing that. Again, people always think it's about the number, you know, the number that you're buying it for, or the number that you're
Exactly.
selling it for. That's not the case. We're all people, and people are coming from different avenues and different angles,
Yeah.
you know. I want to buy that at that price. Why is that? Well, actually, I've worked out a way to add on another bedroom and sell it higher. Oh, really? Okay. Someone else, I want to pay that price. That's a bit high. I know. Family's involved. I want my son moving in. It's extra to the numbers,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Where did you then find your kind of journey going on the next part? Was it more buy-to-lets? Was it doing flips? Was it changing strategies? How did your evolution go in the next step?
Yeah, so I guess it was coming on to Protege, and that was as I said, 4 years ago this month.
That's crazy.
You know, so I done that. I met a guy, Brian, who was in the group, and we chatted it was actually only on the last day we chatted, and then we said, oh, I'm in Botherwell. I was in Coatbridge, so we decided to meet up and that, and then we went, within 3 weeks we viewed this property in Coatbridge that was actually on the market, and we was just like, will we JV and put an offer in, and we did, and we got it.
Wow.
So it was very quick, which was great. So coming out of Protege, we'd secured something literally within 3 weeks. So that was just in November,
That's
I think. But yeah, that seems great. But then it actually took about it takes the 15-16 months, I think, for the money to actually come back. Yeah. So but it was a good deal still. Yeah.
Good,
So,
good. And again, buy-to-let at that
oh,
point?
sorry. So yeah, it was a flip.
That's
So
a flip.
It
Right.
was, by the time we actually went through conveyancing and bought it, even though it was a cash buy, it was 38 grand we got it for. It was a 1-bed tenement kind of style in Blair Hill in Coatbridge, which is kind of a nice bit in Coatbridge. We at 38,000, and then we converted it to a 2-bed So there's a bit of building one and stuff there, and that a bit longer time scale on the refurb than just a normal refurb, and then a sale at the back end that fell through, and then it went back on the market, and yeah, so it was a good flip. We actually ended up getting more for the property than the first offer because we relisted it, different agent. We got it staged.
So you did the staging that time.
So I've staged everything ever since.
Have
so
you? There you go.
I'll never do anything about staging now. So staged it, and we got £7,500 more than what we originally got. It cost us 3-4 more months probably, maybe slightly more actually. But yeah, so that was. We secured it in November of 2020, but the money came in. What was it, April 22? So, and when that money came in, that's the month that I actually just packed in the job.
Wow!
As well, it just
Another
tied in.
big milestone.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's absolutely amazing. And the numbers actually, funnily enough, I'm having a wee laugh in my head because you're talking about places at 38 grand, 50 odd grand, 75 grand, and there'll be folks from Sussex and London. And what on earth are they talking about? Yeah. But this is a great thing about loads of areas in the Scottish market, the north of England as well. You can get some fantastic assets at really low prices. And that's why loads of investors from further down south are investing in Scotland or investing in the north of England, because it's less capital to buy the thing, and then you're getting fantastic cash flow as well. I know you've sourced things in the past for loads of investors. I know you've got loads of opportunities for investment. Are you still doing that? Could someone who's maybe watching this reach out to you? Is that a thing or you closed your doors?
Yeah, well, we've kind of done a wee bit of a pivot recently, just where the projects that we're involved in and now have the projects that we've purchased and now operating. So I've kind of moved away from doing the sourcing really for clients. However, we're now I'm fully focused on one thing now. Another book, The One Thing, kind of changed things for me, my way of thinking as well, and I'm really keen to just laser focused in a niche. So we are, just focused on service accommodation and kind of a small niche within that as well. Type of property, type of project. So over the next 12 months or so, we're going to have 3 large projects running that take a lot of time and energy. And I want to just be laser focused on that and building the brand around it, building the marketing, the systems. We do all the management of these ourselves in the house, and I feel it needs that. So what we've done is I don't need to do the sourcing now to keep things cash flowing, because the properties we've got at this point we're doing the management, we're running them, they're going well, they're cash flowing us now. We're just using that to fund the business and fund the growth, and that allows me. Samantha does most of the management there. It doesn't really take any time from me at the moment, so I've delegated that well, I think. So, and we've got a couple of other team members as well in the wider team that's doing a lot of work for us. So yeah. With regards to clients, really my clients are guests at the moment, or they're investors and shareholders that have invested in our projects. So we're just really looking for, we've kind of got a good projects where we can kind of take investors on and for the longer term, as opposed to, some people take money on for a year, funds on for a year or something for a flip, and then they put the money in and out, and then their money might sit for a while, not moving, or what we're doing is bringing investors in and maybe a 3-year period and giving them a constant kind of cash flow from the project because it's able to do that. So that's very much who essentially my clients are at the moment, as investors and shareholders. So
those kind of people could reach out to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
If they're lucky enough, they could apply and stuff. That's good to know. I saw folks are listening. You've got your capital, but you don't know how to invest it, where to invest it. Well, this is a guy who's got a whole team around him, got tons of experience, and is working on some just crazy projects at the moment. So, that's something to consider. Remember all the notes, all the links and stuff to David's stuff are down in the show notes, so click in there whenever you want and make sure you follow this man and reach out to him. Brilliant. And the service accommodation thing, that's been a real journey for you as well there. You've done and learned and expanded so much. I think I remember some the smaller ones you were doing in North Lanarkshire and moving in and out of places, and now you're onto these gigantic things that you're doing as well. How have you found it? How have you found the journey? Do you enjoy that part of the market?
Yeah. So I started looking at how we got started. How we got started with the service accommodation was we were kind of in two minds to move out our house and turn it into service accommodation, and we toed and froed and couldn't make a decision. And I'll admit, Samantha ultimately said, "Let's just do it."
Yes.
And then within about 4 weeks, we were out and nowhere to live, and there was guests in. We were in the house the night. We were still in the house the night before the guests came in.
Wow!
The first guests came in. We actually used external management agent at the time for the first year,
right?
And they had lined up a direct booking of a couple of months or something.
Oh wow!
So they were. We had the date, they were coming in, and it was like 6 of us trying to move out and clean it at the same time, so there was some refurb there over that 4 weeks that I just ended up doing majority of it myself. Got a wee bit of help, but
I remember you sharing loads of wee quirky videos, and I was, oh my god.
So that's how it really got started, and that was a great decision for us. We had it managed initially, then we took it over and decided, because Sam kind of I thought it was the best decision for us to take that in-house, and we're glad we did, because we learnt a lot from of how that side of business, how that like hospitality business essentially works.
That's a great point.
You're then not the investor, you're really much in the hospitality industry.
Absolutely.
So that was good. We then were like, we need to do more of this,
Right.
So because we really upped the revenue of it, and we took management quite substantially.
Brilliant.
Just due to using different tools and pricing strategies. We reduced the cost because we were doing it. Okay, there was still some time there, but we were learning at the same time.
Yeah.
And then we'd said, right, we're going to focus on this. We got another unit, then got another unit, and then just kept growing. So we got another one in Bells Hill. It's very similar property, ex-county council. It's running great at the moment. So
and are you finding most of the market there is from the commercial side? People staying for weeks at a time and stuff, is it?
So it's timed in well, because my big life event that's coming at the moment next week. There is across the three of the properties that we've got in that area is all big 30 night. One of them 60 night booking at the moment, away to come in the next week or so. So that'll be good, a bit more hands off than dealing with multiple guests. So there is that. However, over the summer, August, July, etc. Everything going on between Glasgow, Edinburgh. It's very much shorter stays, and we're really inflating the nightly rate.
Right. You're adjusting to the market.
So there's more operations in it, more cleaning fees and stuff, but we've found it works, because of what we're able to charge. So it's a good mixed bag. There's not really many. Hands down, we've not had any issues with guests. There's not many parties or young groups of people.
Right.
Trashing the place around. We've not had that yet at all. Really,
Tremendous.
Anything significant that would pop out. A lot of it's families coming. Once lived in Coatbridge, moved to down south, and their parents still live here, and it's perfect for them to get the whole house. Families getting back together. And whatnot. So,
that's fantastic. That's brilliant. It's amazing how you've come. I'm still thinking of that wee story of the place underneath the other guy who bought it and stuff. And then look at you, the way you and Samantha have grown, and you've kind of grown and learned that whole thing. You just get your teeth right into it. Let's take this over and try things. Absolutely. And then increase your revenue and stuff. Yeah. And then let's say jump on the projects you're doing just now. Oh my God, they're eye-watering. But pause, Samantha. Yeah. So she's got a project underway just now.
She does.
By the time this show comes out, that project will have probably been completed. What can we say? What's happening in the personal world?
Our first child is on the way. So
fantastic.
Yeah, due date is Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday next week.
How are we feeling?
6 days away?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. She's had the baby growing in her for 9 months, so I'm just still Is this even real? Is this real?
Just standing by.
It's
She's
good
doing
we've
well,
got-
isn't she?
Yeah, she's
yeah.
doing well. She's still she's a wee grafter. She's grafting
Some
away
woman.
still, and we've got the management to a good place now where you know, will we be taking 2 months off and doing absolutely nothing? Absolutely not.
Sure.
But we will be able to just keep things ticking over where an hour or two, maybe a day, just when the baby's sleeping, jump on the laptop, and that'll keep all the current properties ticking over.
Aye,
you know, and
aye.
that's fine. That's all that needs done.
Yeah.
You know, and we're both on the same journey. We're both. She's not like wanting, I want a month off, or she wants to continue cracking on as well.
Yeah.
She's raring to get back into the gym, get fit again, and get stuck into growing this business, because all these projects are going to be landing in the next couple of months. When they're really going to take off, you know, and the amount of time and energy they need. So so she knows that, but we're very much excited about
you're
about
both
it
on the
all.
same page.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a real dynamo. You know, I know her as well, and she's just amazing. She just does not stop. And I think both of you you seem to have. It's not going back to work. It's not the job. It's this is what you do, and it's both yous together, which is bloody brilliant. You know, it's a real powerful now a family, a full family unit that's building up. You know,
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm going to be able to spend, maybe flexible, spend as much time with the baby as I want. And we can have the flexibility and go and travel around these properties and stay in them for a few nights and just like, you know, just kind of be free. I guess a big goal is of ours is to have it, get this not next year, but I guess 2026, once all these projects are complete, up and running, systemized, and that we go and travel the world with our child. You know, there'll be one and a half maybe, 1.5 in 2026, I guess, and travel the world and do all these things while they're still young, and
That's
we kind of
amazing.
so that's the kind of big plan, but still work when we're traveling, you know, because we can do the 2-3 hours a day on the laptop to keep things ticking over, keep on top of everything, and build a team around
checking
that.
in with the team and stuff. That's bloody brilliant. What a great thing to have ahead of you, because that will fill you with excitement and drive and passion, and
Absolutely.
you know, it's there, and we both want it. Let's go. Let's chase that down.
I feel like I've got a really clear vision and kind of I'm laser focused on one thing.
Yes.
You know, the niche that I'm going down. A clear vision on what we want to do. It's taken me a while to get there, trying all sorts of different things in property, but I feel like now just super focused on that and do one thing really well is where my mind's at the moment.
Bloody brilliant. I love you sharing that. It's great understanding the full picture of someone, the family part of the puzzle, as well as the business and the numbers and the properties and so on and so forth. Now, I want to be respectful of your time. I've been chatting to you for a while here. The things you're doing now, let's finish off on this, because oh my God, service accommodation, hospitality, you've really kind of pushed the boat out here. I know you're working with other guys as well. You've got great partners and stuff, which is brilliant. Talk to us about some of the projects that are brewing away here, and you've just actually completed on one last week.
Well, we concluded missives
you've done last week. That's
we don't have the keys yet, but
so, what are we talking about now?
So we've got 3 projects, very similar, all similar in my niche that I've mentioned. So they're larger commercial properties. We're converting them into multiple like unit service accommodations. So one of them will be 9 units, 9 lettable rooms. One will be 12, and one will be 17. So so what's that? 38 between them, 39 between them. So it'll be good fun. One of them is up north in the Highlands, Caithness, sorry. So it's operation at the moment. We're going through some applications and that to change it slightly. We've just got 5 rooms temporarily running in it at the moment, performing phenomenally well. Brilliant. And once we're going to close it in the end of January, right, and then go through the refurb and then relaunch it. So we got it in I started looking for these type of properties in April 22ish, when I kind of moved out my engineering job, and I was wanting to look at some bigger projects, and I started looking at them, but it took me nearly 18 months to actually get one.
Yeah.
So, but I just never stopped. I just kept on going.
You've just kept on
kept
that
going. So, the larger commercial kind of properties that we're easily carving up, different. They're not residential. Which solves a lot of problems, but also brings some as well.
Yeah.
And what we love about that is just like having multiple units in one place, and it's its own wee business,
Aye, it's easier to kind of organise and manage,
you
isn't
get
it, for you?
full-time cleaners, and housekeepers, it's one roof, it's one heating system, but you've got, the multiple rooms. It's almost like a hotel, so without the reception, there'll be a digital reception.
Aye,
and
aye.
Me and Samantha actually think we're recording a welcome video.
Oh, brilliant. Right.
So,
We'll
but yeah, that'll be the welcome reception. a virtual reception, and all automated check-in, just like an Airbnb, a normal service accommodation, but just multiple units in one building. And over the next, so this is where the engineering, I guess, is coming into play with all the stuff that QSs and lenders are asking for, and business plans and due diligence, refurb costings.
Back full circle.
Yeah.
You've got all the detailed packs.
So
go back and forth.
So I actually got praised by the lender and the commercial surveyors on the detail and the packs, and
I've personally never seen a better pack.
They attach them as appendixes in their pack. So
beauty.
So it's good. I think it really done us favours in the application. I guess it's kind of, if they see that you're putting that much effort in up front, how you starting off on a good foot, aren't you?
You're serious.
Yeah.
Aye.
So
Excited by it all?
Yeah, very excited by it all. We've we've worked with different partners to come and pull funds. Some as shareholders, some as fixed return, which is great. It's allowed us to grow and do these bigger projects, because they need a lot of cash.
Yeah, exactly.
Across the three of them, just purely to give maybe some perspective to it. Across the three of them, there's over about 1.2 million of refurb.
Wow.
So it's a big jump.
It certainly
from doing
is.
a flip with 40 grand refurb at the start. So I'm excited. We've got obviously a wider team of architects, QSs, M&E guys, and everything all working with us. So
would you say that's important? Is that something you would advise, that the bigger, chunkier projects you're doing, get the right people around you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of it it makes it easier. I think if you tried to do it without all these, maybe just get an architect to do some drawings, and you don't bring in the QSs, and don't bring in all the rest of the professional team, and don't have the right contractor on board, etc. Self-manage it, and multiple trades, and that, if I'd done that's just going to take up more time of mine. I'm not going to be able to look for the next project. I'm not going to think about the brand and building the business and the systems and operations, which is what I need to focus on. I don't need to be, counting how many sheets of plasterboard's been hung, and checking in on trades every week and stuff like that.
So true.
So it's about, I guess, respecting what I need to be focused on, and respecting my time.
Yes, correct.
As well as others.
Which is priceless. I love that.
Yeah.
Aye, it's a real exciting journey. And in fact, I can give a wee exclusive, a wee heads up to subscribers to the show. In a few months' time, once these guys have got keys and they're quite happy with things, we're actually going to go up to visit. Oh yes, the whole posse with Gregor behind the camera just now. We're going on a road trip. We're actually going to have another interview, another follow-up with David and his partners here as well. And you'll be able to physically see some of the stuff that he's actually talking about at the moment. I think it'll make it more real as well. It's going to be a fascinating journey. It really is. I can't wait. I can't wait to see it all and see how it unfolds for you as well. It's just absolutely brilliant. Final thing on just market in general, service accommodation that you've done a lot in, got loads of experience in, has went through tons of legislation, changes ongoing just now. Governments, north and south, are still chewing away at other things. The housing market, base rates, up, down, here, there, and everywhere. What's your thoughts? Positive for the future? Optimistic the way things are going? Expecting more change?
Yeah, it's a difficult question.
So much, yeah.
There's so much that goes on, and to be honest, sometimes I try and not get too caught up in it.
Brilliant.
And you know, I know what the interest rate is.
Yep.
You know, I'm not checking it every day. I'm not checking what's the politics around the. I've been, you know, just to be honest, you know, I'd love to give you a big long answer here in my opinion, but I just really try and not get caught up in it.
You're in your thing.
Yeah, and I literally, my knowledge in politics is it's down on the floor somewhere. It's nowhere, you know. So, I mean, yeah, I need to understand maybe things that come in, legislation and that. It changes, you know. When it comes, I'll take a quick read it, you know, and then we'll
see
what do we need to do. This is what we need to meet criteria and just get on with it.
Brilliant.
And not. Because, you know, in the world of social media as well, I mean, you just see so many people just blabbing on and on and on about it. It bores the shit out of me.
Yeah,
so,
no, but you're right.
Yeah.
Again, fabulous advice.
Yeah.
And it's funny, that's the extreme opposite of that engineer brain who's looking at spreadsheets for far too long.
Exactly.
You
and
know?
I just think I'm just, you know, more focused on, you know, the product I'm wanting to build, the experience I'm wanting to build for the guests, you know, the projects I'm involved in. If the interest rate changes slightly, or if there's new legislation come in which won't even affect in the short term lets our projects. You know, we've been through the short term lets applications referring to that. We've done that. We've had probably success with all of them, really, apart from one or two. But I guess it's just doing what's needed to get the license, or you know, to comply with things. And I think maybe as you'll see what happens, that I've seen what's happened in Barcelona, short term lets, you know, so you know they're wanting to stop them all.
Yep.
And I don't know how far will the government push it. As you know, they've done this initially. Will they push it more and try and get rid of them all? One of the facts actually that I do know is that most of the short-term lets are run by, you know, single women as well, and they use it as
really?
you know, single parents, single women that use it as an additional income stream. It's something like 69%.
Wow.
I there's something like that. I wouldn't quote myself on it, but it just, you know, and a lot of these properties, you know, aren't going to solve any housing problem.
Correct.
Like the one we've got down in that was yesterday. We were just meeting the surveyor for the revaluation. It's a 7-bed, you know, 460 square meter, you know, old farmhouse. You know, the people that are homeless or, you know, needing housing, social housing, are not going to buy that or live in it. You know, so how would that not been used for a short term let? You know, have any impact on the housing problem? You know, it's not. You know, it's creating jobs, bringing business to the community. People are going out using the restaurants, the cafes. Correct. You know, the smaller businesses. You know, the housekeepers are getting a steady job, and that's what we want to focus on really heavily with the larger units we're doing, because we're removing the hotel, like the kind of hotel element of it, which is communal bar, restaurant. You know, we're going to use technology to tie in with local businesses, push guests there, support the community, create more jobs, and it gives guests a better experience of going and trying it. So I don't think it's a negative thing. Yeah.
I love it. I love the fact you've mentioned the word guest about 15 times there, and that speaks volumes. You know, the guest doesn't care about the interest rate at the moment. The guest doesn't care about a new form on the application process for the legislation. The supply and demand is they're there for the thing. They're there to stay. They're there for the experience, and
absolutely,
you're delivering that. You're matching that demand. You know, you're giving that supply. That's business. That's perfect. And
That's
then,
the
as you
product,
said, you're radiating into the community with all these housekeepers and cleaners and local restaurants and everything else. That's fantastic. What a great way to finish up. That's
Thank you.
bloody brilliant. Oh, the wisdom is just falling. This man's going to be writing books soon, no reading them, let me tell you. David, thanks a million for
Thank
your
you very
time
much,
on
Richard.
This Week
It's
in
been
Property.
great.
There we go, our David Liddell. So in the show notes, go in there, you'll see his links, his websites, everything there. Chat to him, follow him, and if you're one of those investors, you know, hopefully trying to get in on some of his deals, then, you know, reach out to the man. But until the next time on the show, thanks a million and goodbye.